Hello and welcome to Creative Momentum with Meg Dunley. This episode is part of the first season of my podcast and it's called the Chateau season. The interviews in this season were recorded while I was at a writing residency at Chateau in France. Today's episode is with KC, also known as Kent Curtis-Weakley. He's an artist and designer, originally from a small farming town in central Illinois, and he lives in New York City and has been there for almost 16 years. He works primarily in graphite and charcoal and also practices silverpoint, which is a centuries-old technique that from before graphite was readily available. His work focuses on figure drawing and faces, creating dimension and life from flat paper. During our conversation, he shares how drawing is a meditation for him. And his discovery is that he works best in 20-minute segments, followed by breaks, and that it's like a meditation for him. It's this 20-minute working routine allows his creative juices to keep flowing all day. He traces his creative inspiration back to his Grandma Weakley, and remembers sitting at her kitchen table when he was 5, drawing, colouring together. KC also shares his journey of choosing art over a corporate career and money, and he's gained wisdom from that following your passion is so much more important than following the money. I hope you enjoy this episode. I love talking with KC and getting to know him and his beautiful work and seeing how that work evolved at the Chateau.
Good morning.
Hey, KC. Thank you for agreeing to do this little interview with you about your creative process, routine, and you as a creator. So, just for the listeners, can you please just introduce yourself with where you come from, your full name, like how people can find you, and what your creative discipline is?
My name is Kent Curtis-Weakley. You can find me on Instagram at Kent Curtis-Weakley, all one word, or on my website, www.kcweekly.com. I was born in central Illinois in a small farming town, traveled a bit of the country through my life, and have been living in New York City for the past almost 16 years, in Chelsea on Manhattan.
Excellent.
I draw. You can see some of the stuff here. There's more all around the studio here. In the stables at Chateau, this glorious place. I draw in usually graphite or charcoal. I have done a little bit of work in sepia or walnut ink, and I am practicing silverpoint, which is a centuries old technique before graphite was discovered, invented, made readily available.
Excellent. Like it is beautiful being here in your studio because I can kind of see some of your process, and I've been fortunate to have kind of seen that evolve also from, like, you hit the ground running when we got here at the residency. But I wonder if you could talk to me about what your creative process is.
First and foremost, drawing is a meditation for me. I discovered quite a number of years ago in figure drawing sessions that a model can sit for about 20 minutes and then needs to get up and move for a 5-minute break. And the discovery that I can draw with great focus for about 20 minutes and then I have to change my focus has been kind of instrumental in how I practice art. I can draw all day here, morning till past dark, with 20-minute segments and then a break. 20-minute segments and then a break. And that has freed me up in such a way that the creative juices just keep flowing. I said earlier that drawing is a meditation for me. In New York City, there's not a whole lot of time to meditate. Work, people, finding food, getting places. So my intention for coming to this residency specifically was to have 3 solid weeks of just drawing. It's magic here.
Yeah, it is. Tell me a little bit about who or what inspires your creativity.
Grandma Weakley. I don't have a picture of her. I brought some pictures of ancestors, legacy photos. And I could have brought one. I'm just thinking of this now. Grandma and Grandpa Weakley lived on a farm in central Illinois, halfway between Bement and Monticello. Look it up. They're tiny little dots on the map. And she and I, when I was about 5 years old, would sit at her kitchen table, looking out the windows, drawing, coloring. And now when I draw, I think about her. It's curious that I didn't think to bring a photo of her. I have this beautiful photo of her. It's a sepia that was taken probably for her high school graduation. There's no date on it, so I don't know exactly, but she was gorgeous. Man killer.
I love that. I wonder if you didn't need to bring a photo of her because she's etched in your mind so deeply.
Yeah.
Tell me about your creative routine. Whatever that looks like, it doesn't have to be.
I'm always looking. As an interior designer, I notice details. I see if the chair is sitting in the right place in the room. I notice if the light switch is on the wrong side of the door. I notice how the lighting affects a room, how it affects my mood, how it affects the mood of the people who are in that room. Is it good? Is it not so good? How can we improve it? So I take a lot of photos, some of which are reference photos, some of which are just things for me to look at that are pretty. Like I mentioned earlier, I really began focusing on figure studies, figure drawing, about 10 years ago in New York City. I had graduated from graduate school and wanted to do something that wasn't based on straight lines. I have a degree in interior design. And lots of straight lines. You know, rooms are squares or rectangles. They're not curvy. People are curvy. Faces are curvy. And so I was very drawn to developing that shape from a flat piece of paper, a 2D piece of paper, and somehow pulling a figure off of it. Somehow making the figure come alive is such a trite way of saying it, but I wanted to allow the figure to come off the page, or the face to come off the page. Since then, if you look around the room, I'm not doing that anymore. I still do some of that, but the work has taken a huge leap in the past 2.5 weeks, beyond what I even expected. And I'm thrilled about that. So the creative process is ever evolving.
Yeah, and the routine.
Yeah, absolutely. The routine is I am up before dawn, 5:30, 6 o'clock.
This is at home as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get a couple of yogurts and a coffee, and I'm down here drawing by 7 o'clock. And I will draw easily, giving time for breaks and lunch and breakfast and dinner, 2 breakfasts. I will draw until after dusk.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. If you were to meet someone who's like at the beginning of their creative journey, what piece of wisdom would you pass on to them?
Don't listen to the naysayers. Dad wanted, when I told him I was going to go into art school and study music and art, he said, "Oh, why don't you be a business manager or go be an accountant, something where you can earn money. Well, I didn't follow his advice, and I'm really pleased that I didn't. Even at that young age, what are you, 16, 17, before you go to high school, into college, I knew that I wasn't cut out for the corporate world. I've tried it. I can last about 2 years, and then I get bored and I self-sabotage. So don't give up, and don't listen to the people who say no. You can't do that.
Excellent. And is there any other wisdom that you would want to pass on to other creatives?
Another trite comment. Don't give up. Follow your heart and don't give up. And don't do it for the money. Do it for the passion. It's not about the money.
Excellent.
It's about how do you feel about what you're doing every day. And if you're not passionate about what you're doing, it's a recipe for failure and disaster. One of the frustrations I hear from people is, I can't draw. And that's just bullshit. Everyone can draw. To draw well takes daily practice. Thanks.
From KC, and here's the evidence that it's about practice. And it's giving it a go, making a mark on the page, letting it be what it will be. The amazing KC.
And the fact that it's practice means you never have to be perfect.
Thank you for joining me in this episode, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I love how he traces that creative inspiration back to his grandma and that kitchen table, and you can hear in his voice like how rich that relationship was and his love for her. And also that great discovery of finding his routine of 20-minute segments. And, it's a good cue for all of us to think about, like, what is the routine that works best for me? Because it's going to be that's the thing that sticks, rather than trying to find someone else's routine. His advice is poignant for all of us. Don't listen to the naysayers, even if they are people like our parents. And, just really know yourself well enough to understand what you're cut out for, what gives us permission to trust our own knowing, and that wisdom of I'm not doing it for the money, but for the passion. And that's, that reminds us that, being passionate about what we do leads to a happier life, rather than following what we're not passionate about, which often leads to a recipe of failure and disaster. Follow your heart and don't give up, even if that sounds trite. It is the truth. I love that interview. I love chatting with KC. We stay in regular contact through, messaging. He's currently in Belgrade doing a residency there, which I am slightly envious of. I'd love to be back in Belgrade. I loved it in Belgrade. If you want to find more about KC and his work, please do check out the show notes, and you can see how to stay in contact with him, how to see what work he's doing. And if you liked this episode, please do like, share, subscribe, do all those things. And, it helps people like KC to be, discovered by other people who are interested in his work, and it helps other creatives know that they're not alone in what they do. Thank you for listening, as always, and until next time, please do keep building your own creative momentum. See you later.